we can kill you and make it look like an accident. You know, they really killed someone the next day. Okay.
Wow.
Within
Wow.
4 hours, they took a life. And I do believe if Christopher's body wasn't conditioned, he may not have made it. And that is real.
Hello, critical thinkers. Hope all is well. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The day before Messiah Nantwi was unalived, Christopher Quiles was brutally beaten and tortured at Midstate Correctional. A common practice then occurred when the correction officers involved threw Christopher in shoe and issued a Tier 3 disciplinary ticket claiming Christopher spun off the wall and assaulted officers. His biggest advocate, Ruby Rivera, learned about his attack and took steps to get her nephew help. Midstate Correctional Facility lied and engaged in a cover up, claiming Christopher suffered no injuries and said he got into an altercation with another incarcerated individual. If Midstate Correctional Facility would have taken action on February 28th and put those officers on notice, could Messiah Nantwi be alive today? This video discusses that possibility.
His lawyer could not obtain that ticket. So when a ticket is dismissed, they remove it from the system.
Mm,
So it's like it really never happened for docs, right?
wow. Mm,
Although they removed it, his attorney should always 100% have access to it because it was written and he has to be given the opportunity. And when I say his attorney, the PLS attorney that fights in house tickets, disciplinary, he couldn't get it. So I
mm,
called OSI. Let me just say, I spoke to one of the higher ups, like maybe 3 steps down from OSI from the tippity top. And he said if his lawyer wants it, he can put in a FOIA request after the investigation is over.
wow.
Okay. And how about the state troopers didn't know that Chandler and Bartlett was on that ticket this whole time they were trying to indict them?
Wow. Okay. So you were actually bringing up something very good. So let's make sure this gets the attention that it needs. Okay. So I'm going to bring up on the screen the actual ticket that we're talking about here, and then let's go into why it's important. But before that, a quick 15-second commercial for everyone on the chat. If y'all could please do me a favor, like the video, uh, like the live stream, share it, subscribe to the channel. All that, social media stuff is very important to help getting this message out there. So thank you for sharing it, for liking and subscribing. Greatly appreciated. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up on the stage this ticket and let's read it. Let's go over it briefly, and then we'll talk about why it's important. Okay. Okay. So this is the actual ticket here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just read it very quickly. So, and I'll read the description, and then above that, you'll see number 3 has the rule violations, right? So there we see that this is dated February 28th, 2025. This is the date Christopher Quiles was beaten. Is that
Look,
correct?
the time is important.
The time is important. So the incident time is 11:10 a.m. 11:10 a.m. So we have 4 rule violations listed, right? So for those of you on the chat, um, uh, Ruby, do you know if this is considered like a tier 3 ticket? I've heard that
it,
terminology before.
it is.
Okay, so this is a tier 3 ticket, right? So we have refusing direct order, we have a demonstration. I'm not sure what that exactly means. We have interference with employee, and then we have refuse search, or frisk. Okay, and this is the description of the incident. It says incarcerated individual Quiles 22A0146 showed up to the four-side mess hall for a bandage dressing change. While speaking with the nurse, incarcerated individual Quiles became loud and combative, screaming, "This is why we will be running this house." At this time, Officer Bartlett told incarcerated individual Quiles to place his hand on the wall and get in the pat frisk position. Once in the pat frisk position, Officer Bartlett began to pat down incarcerated individual Quiles. At this time, incarcerated individual Quiles came off the wall. And again, that's a term that we keep hearing from these COs in terms of what they write in their reports. Off the wall, attempting to strike Officer Bartlett with his left elbow. Incarcerated individual Quiles was not able to make contact with Officer Bartlett, and I'm wondering why he wasn't able to make contact. Maybe because it didn't freaking happen. I mean, that's my assessment. At this time, Officer Bartlett used body holds and forced incarcerated individual Quiles to the ground face first. Quiles struggled to get out of the body holds while yelling, quote, "You fucking with the wrong guy. I'm a pro fighter," end quote. Officer Manat responded and placed Quiles in a figure four type move. Quiles supposed to be continued to struggle. After several direct orders to place his hands behind his back, incarcerated individual Quiles' hands were forced behind his back. Officer Manat then was able to apply mechanical restraints to the wrist of Quiles. Once in mechanical restraints, all force ceased. And this is signed by Chandler, who's a sergeant, and also mentioned here directly in the description is Bartlett. So Ruby, talk to me.
Just a couple things that really just stand out, right? Um, so they say Christopher threw an elbow. Now, Christopher is a mixed martial artist fighter. This is what he does. I don't think he's gonna miss the elbow on an unexpected person. He's just not gonna miss that, right? Mm-hmm. Then the statement he makes, "This is why we're going to be running the house." He wasn't even in his house. He was in the mess hall. It makes no sense. Yeah. Now, maybe if he was on the dorm and things happen and he says that, it might make sense. He's not even in his house to say that. He's in a mess hall. Yeah. Okay. And the sergeant brought him to that mess hall under false pretense, telling him he was going to get a dressing because he did have a 3rd-degree burn. Yeah. Okay. In that ticket, it says once they put the cuffs on him, that was the end of that. But then Krista wouldn't have had a pepper sprayed sock. So it's either what Christopher is saying happened or what they're saying happened.
And then in this report, there was no mention of Christopher being pepper sprayed.
No. Now, they did put the restraints on Christopher. That part is true. After they beat him, they put the restraints on him and continued to beat him. Okay? And they did bring him to shoe. And they smashed his head against a door with another incarcerated individual in a cell. Okay? Wow. And then they had him hoist up his pants, or they could kill him and make it look like an accident. And the reason I asked you to read the time, 24 hours later is when they assaulted Messiah. I think his assault started, their thing is around 11:20 something, 11:23.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours. Okay. So when they told Christopher, you can Let us, and they called the pepper spray bastitration. We can kill you and make it look like an accident. They really killed someone the next day. Okay.
Wow.
Within
Wow.
4 hours, they took a life. And I do believe if Christopher's body wasn't conditioned, he may not have made it. And that is real.
If you found value in this video, please like the video, comment below. Don't forget to share the video. And if you feel that I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback and go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling you. Take care, God bless, and see you next time.